In an industry stuffed with marketing bullshit, empty promises, and shiny suited liars, one woman's had enough. She knows what it's like to have the wrong clients, no money, and no time for fun. But she also knows how to fix it. And on the Business for Superheroes show, she promises to tell the down and dirty truth about business, sales, and running away with the circus. Here's your host, Vicky Fraser.
Hello and welcome to the Business for Superheroes show. I'm Vicky Fraser and Joe is currently making a face at me. Joe, why are you making a face at me?
It's like a TV announcer's voice. You had a very nice voice there. Hello.
Sorry. Why? Welcome to the Business for Superheroes show.
Why?
Why? Today we're drinking Prosecco. Cheers.
Prosecco.
Chin chin. Chin chin.
What? Very strange.
Chin chin.
Yes. Hello. What are we doing?
We are, well, we're carrying on from last week because we left a cliffhanger. Do you remember?
Oh, that's the one I nearly... Well, yes.
Yes. So let's speak no more of that. But you know, what have you been... Oh, I need to tell Mrs. Pickles' story. We should update them on the Mrs. Pickles' butt status.
Mrs. Pickles' butt status. Yeah, so last week we just had a fairly traumatic evening where I was introduced to the unwelcome art of washing a chicken's butt. Yes,
because Mrs. Pickles had a very poorly vent. Except she didn't. It looked like there was a lot of blood. And there was...
nothing wrong.
Blood clots in the... Yeah, nothing wrong.
That's very strange.
Yeah, but she's absolutely fine now.
Well, she's broody.
She's broody, but that's okay. Which is funny because she's the incredible inflating chicken. When you open up the coop, she goes and kind of inflates at the same time.
Bigger.
Yeah, it's quite alarming. But she's actually really docile, because I mean she lets me just pick her up and move her, and once I've picked her up and taken her out, she's like, oh okay, there's no okay, there's food. And so yeah, she's. Yeah, if you go onto YouTube, if you go onto my Business for Superheroes YouTube channel, you will see a video of the incredible inflating chicken. Because I took a little video of Team Velociraptor the other day. and that's up there, so you can have a look for that. But yeah, she's really good. And except for today, she was super sweet. I went and had a look and she did her incredible inflating chicken act and I was like, okay, that's fine. So I kind of walked off up the dingle, went up the bank to say hello to the other hens and they were all like, hello. And then next thing, you know, there's like a massive kerfuffle and lots of shrieking and chickens...
Chicken shrieks.
Chicken shrieks. Chickens make a very specific alarm call when they are alarmed. And it's like... That's kind of what it is, isn't it? But they do it repeatedly.
Can you do that again?
No, because you're mocking me now. But that's what they do repeatedly.
Yes.
And so I was like, oh my God, what's going on? You know.
And normally that means there's a foreigner cat or something, or a fox or something going on. It's like, whoa.
In this case, it was our cat Noodle who was sitting vaguely near, you know, down in the dingle, just sitting there minding his own business. And Mrs. Pickles was standing about 1.5 feet away from him, screeching at him. And he was just like, I don't really know what's going on. And so I kind of was like, Mrs. Pickles, it's okay. It's fine. It's just Noodle. He's probably more scared of you than you are of him. Why don't you come here? You know, and she absolutely belted up the bank and launched herself at my arm and just sat chirruping at me on my arm, which was just fairly awesome. I am the chicken whisperer.
You are totally going to regret training her to do that in the winter when she is wet and muddy and covered in chicken poop.
Well, you're probably right about that, but it's entertaining me now.
So, anyway, all is well with the livestock.
Yes, all is well with the livestock. So, okay, so last week we were talking about how you have to ask. And I told a little story about the dude who needed to fund his college education. Was that the story I told? No, I told the story about Galaxy. Shane Bennett and that he asked for a phone.
Yes.
That's the story I told.
It's Samsung.
Yeah, Samsung. Yeah. Other phones are available. Better phones. If Samsung wants to send me a phone to test, that's fine. Anyway, so we were talking about how you have to ask. If you want something, you have to ask for it.
Yes. If you want people to do things, you have to
Ask them to.
Ask them to.
Yeah. And so last week I talked about the three main problems that I find with sales messages when you get to the end of a sales letter or a sales page.
Because you do this quite a lot, don't you? You critique other people's work, you critique their marketing, you critique their websites. It's all part of the service.
I do, and I do it, and I judge people in my head as well, even when they're not paying me to. But yeah, my superheroes, my inner circle, it's all part of the service. They can send me anything, and I'll do a video critique of it. I'll show them what they're doing well. I'll show them where to improve. And one of the most common issues I find with less with their stuff now because I've kind of beaten it into them, but generally this is a general problem, is that people just they either don't ask at all. It's they kind of tail off in a wishy-washy, got this thing anyway, bye, see ya. Or it's just very weak. So I look forward to hearing from you is a classic that I see when people are writing proposals. This is particularly for creative type people, not even creative type people, but services. If you're proposing to do something for somebody.
Yes. A lack of action, a lack of
Yeah.
urgency. There's no do it now, phone me, call this number now.
Yeah.
Or give me your email address now.
It always ends in, I know there are ways to do it that are nicer than that, but yeah, it always ends in, I look forward to hearing from you. And, I shrug my shoulders and go and chase another butterfly.
Yeah, good luck for that.
So yeah, those are the two biggest things. So, at the very, very least, make sure you're actually asking people to take action, tell them what to do. And, secondly, once you've done that, be really clear about what it is that you want people to do. So, if you want them to click a button, tell them to click the button, because don't just assume that they're going to know. Because what's clear to you often isn't clear to other people. So, okay, so that is what we talked about last week, and I said that by far the biggest pile of cash being left on the table is what we're going to talk about this week.
Okay.
And if you do just this one thing in your sales messages, assuming that your headline is good enough to bring people in the first place and get them reading, if you implement what we're about to share with you this week, it will make a huge difference to people whether they buy from you or not. So I'm kind of going to draw an analogy first, though. So, do you remember when you started at uni?
Yes.
And
a bit blurry, to be fair, but yes.
And how bewildering it was?
Yeah.
Because when I started at uni, I was a mature student, so I didn't go to halls. I didn't have all of that, people kind of milling around. I was slightly separate. I was there I wasn't quite there as a mature student, but I was not a campus student, because I was married at the time to not Joe.
Other husbands are available.
Not as good though. So. Yeah, I kind of started, and I didn't have the benefit of campus and my peers and all the rest of it, and I made friends and all the rest of it, but I remember turning up on the first week at Freshers Week and just being completely bewildered because I wasn't sure where to go, I wasn't sure who to talk to, I didn't really know what was going on. It was like I'd been chucked in, and it's like, well, okay, I'm here, but what happens next? And that is a massive problem with sales pages. So, I needed someone to quite literally come and take me by the hand and show me what to do. And I did not have that. And, I think the Americans do this a little bit better. They have orientation week, and they have, counsellors and people.
I actually listened to a really interesting, Hidden Brain.
Yeah, I love Hidden Brain.
Hidden Brain, great podcast.
Yeah.
And they did a podcast about the percentage of students who disappear over the summer holiday.
Oh my goodness, that's such a good example, because I've heard that, yes. Tell that story.
Okay, so they were talking to a college admissions administrator at Georgetown, maybe?
Could have been Georgetown, yeah.
And they were saying that somewhere between 12 and 18% of their students who have got the grades, been offered a place...
Got the funding?
Not necessarily, just don't turn up on the first day of term. And... they realised that these kids were from possibly backgrounds where they didn't have much support with people who'd been to university before. So they were quite often first-generation university people.
Yep.
And they were quite often from poorer backgrounds.
Yeah, working class.
But
they were bright, and they had everything going for them.
They had it all sorted out, and they really should be turning up and just getting stuck in.
Yeah.
But there were a whole series of very, very small, low percentage hoops they had to jump through. They had to have a income, the grant application, the equivalent of the grants had to be sorted out, and the funding had to be sorted out, and some of it is state and some of it is national, and
it's really complicated.
And it's complicated. And there's a lot of forms to fill out, and there's a lot of sort of proof of income and proof of this and proof of grades, and just lots of little administrative things that they have to do. And you lose 1 or 2% at every hurdle. And by the time you get to the end of this, you've lost 20% of your intake.
Yeah, and this is a huge number, yeah. And the admissions guy,
people.
Yeah, they were really concerned about this because they don't want people not turning up. They want people to, these people have worked really hard to get there, to get their grades.
They deserve to be there.
They deserve to be there, and so they want these people to turn up on the first day. It's really important to them. And so this one guy at the admissions office, did he get he got some funding from somewhere, didn't he? I can't remember. Listen to the episode. It's Hidden Brain, and it's a fairly
recent couple of weeks ago.
But yeah, he had some kind of funding and started to investigate this. Why? Where are we losing people? Why are we losing them? What can we do? And it was just really little stuff, wasn't it?
Really small things.
Really small things. Really low investment for the colleges. But, high investment, high return. Really low investment, high return for them. And that's the kind of thing that we're talking about here with getting people to act. Is look at why you're losing people, and we could go even further and talk about abandoned cart emails and all sorts of things, which if we've got time at the end I'll just touch on a little bit. But I just there's even before we get to that step, I can guarantee you are losing people from your sales from your sales journey, just because you're not giving people enough information. So for example, sorry, were you going to say something?
No, you.
Okay, so for example, the biggest stumbling block of all is uncertainty and fear. That is basically why you will lose people. They're uncertain.
They're not sure yet.
Yeah, they're not sure yet. They're not quite sure. So, people will get to the end of your sales message. They will get to what you usually see is ready to take the next step. Click here. Ready to take the next step. Sign up here. And if anything, you get like a little bit more benefit copy. You might get a little bit more sales copy. But what actually happens is that you will lose people because... A lot
of the people just bounce off at that point.
They will bounce off at that point because at this point, don't make me guess what's going to happen next. You've given me a button to click. What the hell's going to happen next? So it's like being dumped into the first day at university and being like, there you go, learn things.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what?
Where do I go? What do I do? What's going to happen?
Yeah, do not, if you've got me right to the end of your sales message, don't make me guess what's going to happen next. Because quite often what will happen next is that I will go somewhere else and I won't spend my money with you. So, for example, if you're going to take me away from your website to a PayPal page, tell me that that's going to happen, because PayPal is an entirely separate entity. If I'm on joefraser.com and I'm trying to buy... the Art of Being Joe Fraser book from you. And then I click on the button and I'm taken to PayPal, which is a, perfectly reasonable thing to do. It's very common. But I'm suddenly going from joefraser.com, shiny, friendly, I know who you are, to
big corporate
PayPal.
thing.
Yeah, and so you need to warn me that that's going to happen. Or I'm simply dumped on a payment page. Unceremoniously, it's like I've gone from this page with the button on it to a completely different page. Maybe on the same website, but a completely different page. Tell me what's going to happen next. I click the button, then what? I get taken to another page. It's really obvious to you and me when we're writing our sales messages what's going to happen next. And, you kind of think, well, I shouldn't need to spell this shit out. Trust me, you do need to spell it out. You absolutely need to spell it out, because someone is trusting you, not just with whatever it is that they're buying from you, but with their payment details, with their, yes, okay, I never see anybody's credit card details when people pay me for stuff, because there are laws against that.
That's not the way it works.
That's not the way it works. But you are trusting, as far as my clients are concerned, they are trusting me with their credit card details. So, you need to tell people exactly what's going to happen next. So, I click the button. What happens? Do I get taken to another page? Tell me I get taken to another page. Tell me what's going to be on that page.
Yeah.
Do I get an email? Tell me I'm going to get an email, and tell me what the subject line of that email is going to be.
Yeah.
Tell me to look for it now. I'd explain it. When can I expect to receive my stuff if it's physical stuff that I've bought? Step by step, explain exactly what's going to happen. And do this whether you're asking for money or not, especially if you're asking for money. But if you're just asking for people to download a freebie, which a lot of you will hopefully be doing, because it's a good way to get people into your world, you still need to explain what's going to happen. It's like, you want my new call to action report, which will be available soon. Ding ding. Which will be totally free. It's like you're going to click here to download it, and then you're going to be taken to this page where you're going to put in your email address and your name, and then you're going to hit the button, and then you're going to get an email from me with this subject line and a link to your, a confirmation link. You need to confirm that you actually want to receive this, and at the same time you'll be taken to a thank you page where you can download your free report. So it's like, here's what's going to happen. Bang, bang, bang. Mm-hmm. Really simple. And then when I've got to the payment page or the download page, explain it again.
And do I? So I'm thinking. I'm trying to think like one of the dear listeners. Hi, Vagard. I've got a beautiful design on my website. It's all very sparse and there's lots of space and it's all very beautiful. How do I physically do this? Is it enough to kind of say, click here if you want to know what happens next, or do I write it all out there and then, or do I use screenshots of buttons with big red arrows on it and stuff? Or how do I do it?
You need to write it down there and then. That's a really good question. You need to write it down there and then. I'll tell you how I do it. So I will say, for the sake of whatever, this is a crap call to action. Are you ready to take the next step? Click here, button, click the button below, button. Underneath the button, I'll say, as soon as you click the button, you'll be taken to a payment page that will ask you for your details. Mm-hmm. Once you've filled in your details and hit the button, you will receive a confirmation email with the subject line blah, and you'll be taken to a thank you page.
So these are like bullet points or numbered things?
Just do it in a numbered list. Make it really simple and easy to read. Mm-hmm. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. And then, what was the other thing you asked? Oh, screenshots and things. Okay. Yeah. So when I'm asking somebody to sign up when they're first coming into my world, and so when somebody was signing up for my 49 ideas, on the thank you page, so I would tell them what would happen. You'll be taken to a thank you page, you'll get a confirmation email, go to your inbox, click it, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And on the thank you page, it says exactly the same thing. It says, you're about to receive an email, this is what it will look like. And there's a screenshot.
Okay.
I have circled the link with a big arrow. You need to click this link and then you'll be taken to... And so, I have actually spelled it out for people because it is proven to increase conversions. If people know what's going to happen, they don't have that. They're not jumping into the unknown.
Okay.
So, absolutely. If you can do it like that, do it like that. But at the very least, put a numbered list. This is what's going to happen next, then this, then this, then this. Make sure that people know what to expect. And so, I've even got... and when you get to the payment page, say it all again. Because sometimes, if you're opening a pop-up, like sometimes when you pay, there's like a little pop-up box that pops up, just quickly recap it again there, Put your information in here, little pop-up with the, whatever they're asking for, and then just underneath, then this will happen. Don't assume that people have read what you've said before, because they haven't always.
Yeah, sure.
Never assume that people have already read what you're talking about.
And if they are trying to download my, my free ebook on how to be Joe, then do I tell them they're also signing up for my daily email or my weekly email or whatever? I make that really clear. Yeah, make it really clear. And, you could do what Ben Settle does, and he gets people to tick a box to say, I acknowledge that by signing up for this, I'm also going to get daily emails. So it makes it very clear. Because quite often you get people are muppets. You get people who are like, you say very clearly, you're going to get an email from me every day. And then a week later, they'll be like, why are you spamming me? What is this stuff?
And it's like, well, you asked me to send you stuff. And there's an unsubscribe button at the bottom. Just click it. So absolutely tell them. And you will still get people, yelling at you because that's the nature of people. But tell them, I've got no problem with telling people, when you sign up for this, you will get an email from me every day. You can unsubscribe at any time. That's absolutely fine. Mm-hmm. But tell them what to expect.
Okay.
And actually, a lot of people will be like, oh, but if I tell them they're going to get an email every day, then, they're not going to sign up. And it's like, well, would you rather you didn't tell them and then you sprung it on them and then they're like filled with rage?
Yeah, they're pissed off, surprised and feeling spammed.
Yeah, they need to know what to expect. They're still not going to buy anything off you. No, still not going to buy anything from you, and they might mark your emails as spam, which is not good. So, but I've got a few examples for people because I'm full of love. So here's what you could say. I've got a few scenarios what people are offering. So here's what you could say if you're selling an online course, for example. You've asked people to click the button. People will click the button, and then you can just say, as soon as you buy, you'll get an email with the subject line blah blah blah. It'll contain your receipt and the joining instructions to log on and access your course.
Okay.
Simple. And, you could go into more detail if you want to, but that is a minimum that will do the job. Do the job better than not doing it at all. Whiskey agrees. That's our cat. Here's what you could say if you're selling an ebook. So, say you've clicked the button. After you've paid, you'll be sent to a page where you can download your book instantly. You'll also get an email with the subject line blah 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 containing your receipt, an extra copy of your ebook, and an extra link to the download page just in case. So you've given people plenty of opportunity to find their purchase. What if you're selling a physical product, you might be wondering? Okay, so after you've paid, well, this is what I would say. After you've paid, you'll get an email with a receipt for your knickers, which will go in the post within 24 hours. You should receive your shiny new pants within 3 working days. They'll be in a bright red package. If you don't receive them, please let me know ASAP so I can chase them down and make sure they get to you.
Okay.
Again, and don't promise stuff that you're not going to deliver. If you're not going to put whatever it is in the post within 24 hours, don't tell people you will. People will forgive a lot of stuff as long as you don't lie to them.
Yeah.
Or if it happens that you can't, for whatever reason, normally you manage to get it out, then for goodness sake, spend 5 seconds to drop them an email to say, I'm really sorry, I'm having this issue. It's going to be an extra couple of days.
Yeah. Post office is burnt down.
Yeah.
I'll pop them. They'll be in the post tomorrow.
Yeah. As long as people know what's going on, they will forgive that kind of fuck up, because it's like, when your train's delayed and you get infuriated because your train's delayed and you just don't know why. As soon as they come on and they say, there's been a flood or there's been a fire, it's like, oh, okay. And you can put context to it and think, okay, well, there's a reason for it now. So what if you're selling a consultation or something? Yeah, that's different again. You could say something like, as soon as you've paid, you'll get an email confirming our call. You'll hear from me again 1 week before the call with instructions to join the call and a reminder. Then on the call, we'll go through your issues. Again, simple, informative. Everyone knows what's coming. I'm in no doubt now as to what's going to happen next, and so I feel really safe handing over my cash or my details or whatever it is that I'm, handing over. But this really simple thing just doesn't exist on most sales pages. I mean, how many times have you bought something and you don't really know what's going to happen next?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And you and I, we're quite internet savvy. We know that probably nobody's going to steal our details, but a lot of people aren't.
Yeah, very cautious, very cautious.
Yeah, and if you're a really big company that everyone's heard of, like, I suddenly can't think of anybody.
Google, Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon. Like Amazon. You can get away with stuff like that because they're fairly trustworthy, but even Amazon will give you a heads up as to what's going to happen next. So, this is really, really important, and if you don't do this, I can guarantee that you're losing sales because of it. I guarantee it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, really.
Okay.
This is also, by the way, a place to offer a guarantee if you're offering a guarantee, because it's another way to reduce uncertainty.
Okay.
And it increases buyer confidence, and you don't have to offer a guarantee.
But if you're going to, mention it here.
This is the place to do it, yeah. And I'm not going to go into guarantees here because that's like a whole other topic on its own, and we'll do that another day sometime. But yeah, so just to recap, Joe, can you recap what we've talked about?
Oh, okay. So we've talked about a clear call to action. So you can't just finish your web page with like a drifting off and we hope to hear from you and nothing particularly solid to do next. So you need a clear call to action.
Clear, concise call to action. No waffle.
No waffle. You've got to be strong and clear. You got to state what you want me to do clearly and strongly. Phone me now. Ring this number.
Tell me how to do it.
Press this button. Whatever. But it's got to be strong and clear, not, we would like you. We hope, this website has impressed you. And if it has, we'd be delighted if you could, drop us a line. It's like, no, click this button.
Yeah, click this button, do it now.
Yeah. And what we've gone through today, which was telling people what's going to happen next. So you've got people hovering over the shall I, shan't I, click this button. I'm not sure. And their concern is they don't know what's coming. They don't know what's going to happen. They don't know what the process looks like. And they don't want to be hit with stuff that they don't want.
Yeah, you've got to take my hand and lead me through what's going to happen next.
Talk people through what's happening next.
Talk people through it. So here, dear listener, is what I would like you to do right now. Quickly, before you get distracted, go to your sales page.
Unless you're driving your car.
Yeah, do not do this if you're driving your car. Oh my God. Assuming as soon as you get back and you've parked safely without incident.
With the handbrake on.
With the handbrake on. And taken the keys out of the ignition. I never leave the keys in the ignition, honestly. As soon as you've done all of those things and you're safe to do so, go to your sales page for your main product or service or your online shop if you've got one, and have a look at your call to action with the new eyeballs that I've just given you. Because I want you to check the following. Is the call to action obvious? Can you see the button? Can you actually physically see the button? Because that's another problem. It's like strong, clear call to action. Can you see the button? Have you made... You'd be surprised how many times you can't. Have you made it clear what's in it for me to click? Have you made it clear what will happen if I don't click? My problems will continue and get worse or whatever, Am I crystal clear on what's going to happen next? Are you sure? Really? Are you really, really sure? Are you sure? Okay, good. And how can you make it more obvious? How can you make the whole call to action and what's going to happen next more obvious? Because you almost certainly can. And how can you make your customer feel safe and valued and like you can be trusted with their time and their money? That's really, really important. And everything that we do in copywriting and marketing is really all about that last one. How can you make your customer feel safe and valued? Mm-hmm. And like this is the right place for them to...
Like you understand their issues and you can help.
Yeah. And then after you've done that, go to your checkout area and make sure that contains some instructions as well. I mean, if you can just repeat the instructions that you put on the sales page, that's fine. But at the very least, include something really brief, like just fill in the form, buy now, access your course immediately. Mm-hmm. Just make sure people know what's going to happen next. So yeah, that's solid gold podcasting. It says
that one was punchy.
It was punchy. Got not much more to say on that, really. If you want to sell more stuff, join my small business superheroes, because we go through all of this stuff in detail. And in the group, I will show you how to go deep and build the skills and mindset you need to do as well as you want to do in your business. I will critique your stuff as well. Mm-hmm. I will look at what you've got and show you how to make it better. And if it's already awesome, I will give you a big high five, pat you on the ass, and send you on your way. So yeah, next week. Next week, oh my goodness, yeah. Next week is going to be good.
What we got next week?
Next week is all about how business doesn't have to be all hustle.
Okay. It's
going to be all about balance, but also going all out with your balls out. Probably not really with your balls out. Let's not do that.
Let's not do that.
But yeah, also living a life, because we hear an awful lot about 24/7 hustle. Grind.
Yeah.
And, life, sometimes you need to really go for it for a short time, but, life is too short for that stuff. So yeah, we're going to be talking about that. And we're also going to be using an idea that my friend Tanya gave me earlier when we were doing our procrastination writing group. Mm-hmm. The procrastination station. Hi, Tanya, because she does listen.
Hi, Tanya.
And yeah, she gave me such a good idea, because I was just like, anyway, I will share it with you next week, because it's a really good idea.
Okay.
A motivation idea. So yeah, that's that for this week. If you like this podcast, please go to iTunes and leave us a review. We like reviews. It'll get you a shout out on the show. It'll help more people find us.
Yeah.
And learn from us. Or please share it. If you don't do iTunes reviews, that's cool beans. Go send it to someone who will enjoy it. The link is at vickyfraser.com/podcast. And if you're ready to take the next step, if you've learned all you can from my free stuff and you've applied it all, and you're ready to get your arse well and truly kicked, go to businessforsuperheroes.com/inner-circle, and start doing things a little bit differently.
Cool.
Thanks very much, Joe.
No worries.
It's been a good one. We'll be back same time next week. Be good. If you can't be good, don't get caught.
See ya. Like what you've just heard? Tell your colleagues, tell your friends, send them to www.businessforsuperheroes.com/podcast.